My name is Lily Sullivan. I'm 32 years old, and for as long as I can remember, my wealthy parents treated me like their personal maid. Not a daughter, not even an equal. Just a shadow expected to serve in silence while my younger sister Sarah lived like a queen. Growing up, family gatherings never felt like family. While Sarah sparkled in sequined dresses, laughing with guests and basking in praise, I was buried in the kitchen, scrubbing pans or carrying trays of hors d'oeuvre. My parents used to joke, Lily has such a natural talent for service. They said it with a smile, but there was no humor in it. It was their way of reminding me that my worth was only in what I could provide for them. Sarah was the star, the golden child. She got piano lessons, ballet classes, designer handbags, and a luxury car for her 21st birthday. I got a secondhand cookbook and the constant reminder that I was useful but never special. For years, I swallowed that bitter truth. I told myself I didn't care, that keeping the peace was easier than fighting a war. One could never win. But every insult, every dismissal, every moment I was overlooked built up inside me like pressure in a sealed bottle. And eventually, that bottle was bound to explode. It happened last Christmas Eve. I was in my modest Manhattan apartment, finally doing something for myself. I had packed a suitcase for a long overdue vacation in Florida, something I had been saving for all year. The thought of warm sand and ocean air was the only gift I'd given myself in years. That's when the phone rang. It was my mother. Her voice carried that sharp, commanding tone that left no room for argument. Cancel your trip, Lily. Sarah is hosting a Christmas Eve dinner tomorrow night. 25 guests. Executives from Pinnacle Corporation. You'll cook. I'll send the menu shortly. She didn't ask. She ordered, like she always did. For a moment, I just sat there, frozen, staring at the blinking light on my phone. My suitcase lay open on the bed behind me, filled with swimsuits and paperbacks. My plane ticket sat neatly tucked in my purse. And yet, in one phone call, she expected me to throw it all away to serve her spoiled daughter's party. I clenched the phone tighter. My chest rose and fell as a dozen memories flooded back. Every holiday ruined, every birthday overshadowed, every achievement dismissed because Sarah was always more important. But what my mother didn't know, what no one in my family knew, was that I wasn't the same Lily they had trampled on for years. Behind the scenes, away from their judgmental eyes, I had built something of my own. For the last 5 years, I had been pouring my soul into my passion, hospitality. Not just cooking or serving, but designing unforgettable experiences. I had started small, planning intimate dinners for friends, then networking events for local professionals. Word spread about my precision, my creativity, my ability to make guests feel like royalty. Last month, I got an email that made me cry tears I never thought I'd shed. Victoria Chen, CEO of Pinnacle Hospitality, one of the most powerful women in the industry, had seen my work at a corporate gala. She wanted to meet me personally to discuss a $2 million contract. That meeting was scheduled for the week after Christmas. My career, my real life, was about to begin. But my parents had no idea. To them, I was still the family maid. I held the phone to my ear and said quietly, Mother, I already have plans. I can't just... She cut me off immediately. Don't be ridiculous, Lily. What could you possibly have that's more important than your sister's event? Sarah needs this to go perfectly. Pinnacle executives will be there, and if she makes a good impression, her future will be secured. Don't ruin this for her. Her words made my blood run cold. Pinnacle? Did she just say Pinnacle? I swallowed hard, gripping the edge of the counter. Wait, I said slowly. Pinnacle executives? As in Pinnacle Corporation? Yes, she snapped. Sarah has been networking. This dinner could open doors for her career. The least you can do is contribute. You'll cook, as always. For a second, the room spun. My heart pounded in my chest. This couldn't be real. The very company that was about to sign a multi-million-dollar deal with me was the same company my sister was trying to impress. I felt like the universe was playing a cruel joke, but at the same time, I realized something. This was no accident. This was fate, handing me the chance to finally break free. I closed my eyes and let out a long breath. I could almost see the path unfolding in front of me. My whole life I had been serving them in silence. But now, they were about to walk into my world without even knowing it. I opened my eyes, my voice steady this time. Fine, Mother. I'll be there. The satisfaction in her reply was immediate. Good girl. I'll text you the menu. She hung up before I could say another word. I set the phone down on the counter and stared at my reflection in the window. For the first time in years, I didn't see the tired, invisible daughter they had molded me into. I saw someone stronger, someone who had been underestimated for far too long. This wasn't going to be another Christmas Eve where I played the maid. No. This time, I had the power. They just didn't know it yet. And as I zipped my suitcase shut, not for Florida, but for the mansion I once called home, one thought burned in my mind. This year, The dinner won't just change Sarah's life. It will change mine forever. The next evening, I arrived at my parents' mansion. The moment I stepped through the doors, I was hit with a wave of familiarity. Polished marble floors, chandeliers glittering above, the scent of pine and cinnamon from the towering Christmas tree in the foyer. It should have felt like home, but to me, it was nothing more than a stage. My mother was the first to greet me. She barely looked at me before pointing toward the kitchen. "Your apron is in the drawer. Don't dawdle. We need hors d'oeuvre ready in 20 minutes. Not a hello, not even a smile. Just orders, as always. Sarah floated into the room moments later, her long red gown shimmering under the lights. She looked every bit the queen of the night. Well, well, she said with a smirk. At least you showed up. I was worried you'd actually be selfish enough to leave me hanging. I bit my tongue and said nothing. Let them believe I was the same old Lily, quiet and obedient. They'd learn soon enough. I tied on the apron, rolled up my sleeves, and got to work. The kitchen buzzed with activity as I plated appetizers, stirred sauces, and checked oven timers. Years of experience made it second nature, and despite the pressure, I remained calm. Because this time, I wasn't just cooking for them. I was preparing for the moment that would change everything. By 7 o'clock, guests began to arrive. Laughter and chatter filled the halls as executives from Pinnacle Corporation stepped into the glittering dining room. My mother and father greeted them with exaggerated charm, while Sarah flitted from guest to guest like a butterfly. From the kitchen doorway, I watched carefully. I recognized faces from the Pinnacle website, high-ranking executives with power and influence. But my eyes were searching for one person, the woman whose email still felt like a dream. And then she appeared. Victoria Chen. She walked in with quiet authority, her presence commanding attention without a single word. Dressed in a sleek black suit, she carried herself with elegance and strength. My heart pounded, but I forced myself to stay hidden for now. Timing was everything. Dinner was served, course after course, and the guests praised every bite. Exquisite, one of them said, lifting a forkful of braised lamb. Sarah, of course, beamed proudly, as if she had cooked it herself. My parents nodded, taking credit by association. Finally, dessert was placed on the table. Chocolate soufflés dusted with powdered sugar, paired with fresh raspberry coulis. I stayed in the shadows of the kitchen, waiting. That's when it happened. Victoria Chen set her fork down, glanced around the table, and asked calmly, who was responsible for tonight's meal? Sarah immediately leaned forward, her voice sweet and polished. Oh, that would be me. I take hosting very seriously. I wanted everything to be perfect for you and your team. My parents smiled proudly, their eyes shining with approval. For a second, I thought maybe Victoria would simply nod and move on. But instead, she tilted her head, studying Sarah closely. Interesting, she said, because I've tasted this style of service before. In fact, it reminds me of a gala I attended last month. The planner was exceptional. My pulse quickened. She remembered. Sarah let out a light laugh. Well, I suppose excellence runs in the family. Victoria's gaze shifted, sharp as glass, toward the kitchen doorway. Straight at me? Actually, she said slowly, I believe the credit belongs to someone else. Isn't that right, Lily? The room fell silent. Forks clinked against plates. All eyes turned toward me as I stepped forward, untying the apron and placing it neatly on the counter. My mother's face went pale, my father stiffened, and Sarah's smile faltered. I met Victoria's eyes, my voice steady. Yes, I prepared the meal. A ripple of shock ran through the table. My mother immediately jumped in, her tone sharp. Lily, don't be absurd. She's just our helper, always fussing in the kitchen. She couldn't possibly. Victoria raised a hand, silencing her instantly. I know excellence when I see it. Lily, your work tonight was extraordinary. And if I'm not mistaken, you're the same Lily Sullivan who submitted a proposal to Pinnacle Hospitality, aren't you? Gasps echoed around the table. My sister's jaw dropped. My parents stared at me as if I had just revealed a double life. I straightened my shoulders. Yes, that's me. Victoria smiled, a rare warmth in her expression. Then allow me to say this publicly. I'm looking forward to finalizing our $2 million partnership after the holidays. Pinnacle Hospitality is proud to work with you. For a moment, the room was utterly silent. Then whispers broke out, stunned and incredulous. My parents looked as though the ground had been pulled out from under them. Sarah's eyes burned with disbelief, her perfect facade cracking. Me? The daughter they dismissed? The sister they treated like a servant? I was the one Pinnacle trusted. I was the one being called boss. I looked directly at my mother and father, then at Sarah, and finally back at Victoria. Thank you, I said softly, but firmly. It means more than you know. Victoria raised her glass. To Lily Sullivan, the true talent of the evening. The executives followed suit, lifting their glasses in a toast. My parents didn't move. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She tried to blink away. And me? For the first time in my life, I felt truly seen. This wasn't just about revenge or proving a point. It was about reclaiming my identity, about stepping into the light after years of being hidden in the shadows. That night, as the toast rang out around me, I knew one thing for certain. I was no longer the family maid. I was Lily Sullivan, the woman they could never ignore again.